Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to...
I ranked every country in Europe. So this is a super long video, we're going to do it in parts. Let's get it started.
All 50 countries in Europe.
All 50?
Most of them 3 or more times. And in this video, I'm going to rank each nation starting from my favorite.
Well, he visited every country in the world. So
he did? I thought he I didn't think that was possible.
We watched his video with the best and worst countries that his
I thought when he said every, like,
no,
he meant good amount.
He
like,
meant every.
Oh,
remember, he went to countries that are in wartime, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't like this country because it's in wartime." And we sitting here like, "Why the fuck would you go there?" Well,
so he went to Lithuania. I want to see
every country in Europe.
It is the best city in Europe, one of the best in the world, all the way down to my least favorite. And yes, right now I'm in the beautiful city of Kyiv, Ukraine. The criteria for my ranking is overall friendliness, affordability, cuisine.
That is very good.
Nightlife, natural beauty, historical wonders. I was not expecting to see this since this was...
I don't know if nightlife should be a criteria. I mean, for young people, I guess, but for...
It's for him. That's his list.
You're right. You're right.
The ability to not have to go out of your way to have an authentic cultural experience.
It's unbelievable.
All right, let's begin with my favorite country in Europe and where I am reporting to you right now to kick off this video.
Favorite? Why did we start at 50? We started at 1?
Let's go!
No,
Number
because
1, the Czech
honestly,
Republic.
you get so excited. You're like, oh, let's go. And then when you get to the worst, you start getting sad.
No, I like the countdown from the wars.
Watch my mood change real quick.
I am in Old Town Square in Prague. It's literally my favorite place on the planet. Look at this. It is so beautiful. Medieval architecture, incredible churches, the oldest functioning astronomical clock tower in the world, and it just doesn't get any better than this, even though it's been a year.
I think Czech Republic is like official name, and Czechia is colloquial name.
Oh.
For my life in the city, I still have the goosebumps every time I'm here.
Lithuania's official name is Republic of Lithuania. It's just nobody says that.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, it's called what?
Republic of Lithuania.
Why Republic?
Because it's a republic.
I love it.
Yes, this is the very city that I studied abroad in 2012 when I was a junior in college, but I've just fallen in love with this city and this country, and let me tell you why. There are many cities around this country that are stunningly beautiful, like Pilsen, where they brew the famous Pilsen Urquell beer. There's a city in the north called Liberec, which is near the mountains by the Poland border. There's a town called Olomouc in the east, and Brno also in the east. And all the little Czech towns and villages are so cool because you're in Bohemia. That's actually what the region is called, like the song music actually by Queen.
For this to be your top, you really have to commit to that old style.
I don't know, for me personally, for the country to be the top, I feel like I would have to speak the language. Either I have to speak the language, or like literally, well, some countries, namely Netherlands and Sweden, like 90% of the population speaks English. I could see like 90% being sufficient. But then, I don't know what's the percentage of Czech Republic. I'm not talking specifically about them, but I'm just saying like I would have to be able to freely communicate in the country for me to have it as number one.
The place that you would go to.
Yeah, like if I go to a country and some people speak English and a lot of people don't, I would have a hard time putting it at number 1. And again, I'm not saying that's the case with Czechia. I'm just saying, for me personally, how it would be.
But what's really cool about Czech Republic is you're right on the border of Eastern Europe and Western Europe. So you still get that Eastern European flair and culture. And my parents' generation, the ones who grew up in the 70s and 80s and even 90s, they grew up in communism. So they have a different outlook on life. And it wasn't so happy-go-lucky for them growing up. And that's maybe why you think Czech people don't smile so much at you on the streets and you think that they're rude. But actually, they're super friendly and super cool once you get to know them.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. But the way the society runs in Prague, it's super safe, super clean. You have that like Western European comfort a little bit here, but still the grunge of Eastern Europe. So there's graffiti on the wall. Some of the street signs are ripped off. It's way, way, way more affordable than Western Europe. For example, if you drive an hour from here, you're already in Dresden, Germany.
Winwood, in a way.
Okay.
And it's way cheaper in the Czech Republic than it is in Western Europe. Beer is still cheaper than water here, even though it has gotten quite pricey over the last few years.
So we just sat down at a restaurant here in Prague and I ordered this beer, which was $2 for a half liter, and this tiny little water in a glass can is $3.
Okay, you got a fancy water. That's on you.
The Czech Republic is loaded with beautiful parks, cafes, restaurants, bars. It's amazing for nightlife. It's family friendly. All the streets have this cobblestone everywhere in Prague.
Okay,
it's so cool.
if you're a
like
lady, that is not a joy to walk on.
All Europe downtowns is like
Oh,
this.
gone.
All
You
Europe.
gotta carry an extra pair of shoes.
Don't forget, these cities are like
Not for heels.
500, 600, 700, 800 years old. So
And all over the city.
it's called Old Town for a reason.
It is extremely safe here, way more than other cities I've been to in Europe. Even pickpocketing is pretty minimal, if you would ask me, compared to a place like Paris or Barcelona. What I love about Prague is, yes, it's the biggest city in Czech Republic, but it's still pretty small. There's about 1 million people here, but you feel like you can know all the different areas. It's not overwhelmingly big, and you can really walk around the entire Old Town in just a couple hours. It's really great if you like exploring by foot. Public transportation around this country is immaculate. It's perfect, always on time, easy to get around. You do not need to have a car if you live here. If I'm being honest,
I don't know if I put it in my mind, but for consideration purposes, it's interesting.
What's not amazing about the Czech Republic is the food is very heavy, meaty potatoes and sauerkraut and cabbage. But you know what? You don't come here for the food. You come here for the fun, the beautiful atmosphere, the relaxing.
But you put it at number 1.
That's all the Eastern Europe. You know, the sauerkraut, the meats, potatoes. Yep.
As of Czech Republic.
Well, they're not like East, they're like Mid-East, you know, like right in the middle.
Look, they're setting up a farmer's market in front of me. There's going to be a beautiful little farmer's market here. Also, my favorite small town in Europe is...
I haven't been to Czech yet. I've driven by. I've never been to Prague. I stopped at like a grocery store. That's all my experience, so I can't really comment much.
Other Czech called Český Krumlov. It is beautiful and charming, just like it is here over the Vltava River with Charles Bridge in the distance, one of the oldest bridges in the world. I just freaking love this country so much. Number 2, Serbia.
Interesting.
Okay.
I cannot tell you how good it feels to be back in Serbia after 7 years. Also staying in Eastern Europe, but this time the capital of the Balkan region and former Yugoslavia. Serbia is amazing. I've been there maybe 7.
I think he's heavily weighs nightlife because I think Serbia, Belgrade has really good nightlife. So I think that, and also
they have good bread salad.
bread salad. Also pretty cheap. So I think that what they have going with the weather should be solid. They're pretty, you know, down south.
8 times. I love the people. They're so outgoing in nature. They're friendly. They're kind of like Spanish people. They're very loud, very nationalistic, very proud of their country. Belgrade is amazing. It is
Brazil flag in there. What's that?
They're kind of like Spanish people. They're very loud, very nationalistic, very proud of
lost Brazil flag. Okay.
their country. Belgrade is amazing. It is not very touristy, so you have these beautiful medieval castles and charming old town streets, restaurants, bars. A lot of them you have to yourself because there's just not many tourists there. There's a beautiful fortress in Belgrade, right where the Danube and the Sava rivers meet each other. But even getting out of Belgrade, there's a town in the south called Niš,
Serbia too.
which is beautiful. Up in the north, there's a town called Sombor, which is actually where Jokic is from, the best basketball player in the world right now.
Is he?
There's a town in the north called Novi Sad.
No, that's all subjective, but yeah, he's one of the best,
Where they have an amazing music festival in the summer called Exit, which I really want to go to. And all around Serbia, you really just can feel the energy, the pulse of this country, unlike others. It's so amazing if you want to go out, make some friends, hang out, play sports. Also, Milak Djokovic, the best tennis player of all time, is from Serbia. So it's a tiny country, but has such a big impact on global sports, which is cool if you like sports like I do. The food in Serbia is pretty good if you like meat. They have cevapici, which are these like thick meatball things. They drink this yogurt thing that they also drink in Turkey. The drink in Turkey is called like Aryan there, but the one in Serbia is saltier, and it definitely is an acquired taste. I always like to tell people that Belgrade feels like a mini Berlin with graffiti on the walls, which ironically I'm walking on this street in Prague right now. It feels like the East Gallery wall, where the Berlin wall is covered in murals. But Belgrade has that vibe.
Because he's walking on the street?
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Because you don't see cars really, you just see streets.
It does, it does look like a little old town, yeah.
It's hipster. I don't know how else to explain it. You just gotta go in yourself and feel it. It feels different than the rest of Europe. And not to mention there's beautiful Orthodox churches everywhere. It's really a dream. And I always want to be back in Serbia. And I hope that if there's one takeaway from this video, it would be to visit Eastern Europe in general. It's just fantastic.
He didn't try the food,
Number
but
3,
okay.
Spain. Spain is just
He didn't try the food.
He showed us the food. He didn't show me a brick.
He described it.
Brick should be the leading thing to see in Serbia.
Let me tell you why.
Brick.
So, of course, the big cities of Barcelona and Madrid are amazing, and you have to visit, and they should not be overlooked.
It doesn't get any better than this.
But the beauty of Spain, for me, is the south and the north. The southern region is called Andalusia, which is so beautiful. You have towns like Granada, Sevilla.
The vibes. This is perfect.
Cordoba.
We are out here in southern Spain, and there's this amazing little town of these caves.
But the food, I don't know.
You guys have to see this to believe it.
One of the most beautiful mosques I've ever seen is in Cordoba. There's this Moorish architecture which comes from Morocco. It's really close to the border of Morocco. You just have to cross the small sea right there.
Right now I'm inside the
This is beautiful.
Spain.
This is
one of the
beautiful.
coolest buildings I've ever seen in this architecture.
The people of Spain, just like Serbians, are really loud and friendly and passionate. Seriously, like if you've ever met a Spaniard before, you know that they're Spanish because they're just loud. They want to be heard.
And they say Americans are loud.
As I passed under Charles Bridge, we learned more. I actually took my dad on our annual father-son golf trip in Andalusia. We had an absolute blast.
Very good player. Thank you.
It is literally every golfer's dream to be down there. The road trip was beautiful. The food was incredible. The jamón, the seafood, the tapas. But then, you gotta go up north to the northern coast of Spain, where I just took my team on an incredible road trip, which I do every year to celebrate the growth of the channel. We started in San Sebastian in the Basque County, which was absolutely stunning. The wine, the food, the ocean, the seafood, the views, the cliffs, and then we drove the whole northern coast of Spain all the way to a town in Galicia, which is on the northwestern part of the country, to a town called Vigo, which I don't think I've ever seen a more charming town in my life than Vigo, Spain. Put that town on your radar. It will not disappoint. Man, on this walk right now around Prague, I'm finding all these little squares and little alleyways.
That's what I would enjoy the most about Europe, is just walking around.
Awesome. But Spain has it all. It's a huge country. It has great vibes all around. If you like ocean, you got it. If you want mountains, you got it. If you like to drink, go out and party. If you like sangria, the fruity wine that comes from there, it's all in Spain. And it's
I haven't tried good sangria though.
I like sangria.
I haven't tried good sangria.
I like it. I like it more than regular wine.
Why am I doing this with my hands all of a sudden? Number
Where's
4,
your next?
Iceland.
Did we see Iceland as on one of the lists as the best country in Europe or something like that?
so.
Yeah, because it was Iceland. Because I said, oh, how come it's not Finland? Because Finland was the happiest.
Yeah.
It was Iceland. Interesting. Okay.
If you like natural beauty, then Iceland is your spot.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Holy shit.
I think it was best countries to live in Europe, something like that.
It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world and the best to road trip it, starting in Reykjavik, the capital city, which is quite nice. There are a lot of beautiful things to do in that city, and it's definitely worth visiting, like the beautiful church, which is quite different than this one, the Blue Lagoon, which is a place that you just detox for a while. It's a geothermal hot bath, which there's a lot of those around Iceland. The Blue Lagoon is just the most famous one. Oh man, that burning sensation of being so hot.
Fantastic.
Oh, this is so cool, man. Oh my god. I feel like we're gonna be here for at least 30 minutes. One of the coolest experiences of my life was playing golf at the northernmost golf course in the world, where it was light outside 24/7 in the summer. Let's go! But I recommend you to get in a car and drive south to a little town called Vik on the southern coast. There's black sanded beaches down there. It's a totally different vibe and feel than Reykjavik. It's way more remote. And just driving through Iceland, you will see volcanoes. You will see beautiful rolling hills. You will see ocean, cliffs, and views like you've never seen. And the people of Iceland, there's only a couple 100,000 of them in the whole country, and they're super friendly. There's a town in the west called Stikisalmur, which actually went on a cruise ship that continued onward to Greenland.
Yeah, their architecture is unique. Yeah, it is.
It was a small town of about 3,000 people, but really, really nice. The best salmon I've ever tasted in my life was there. And it's just the epitome of what I love and enjoy about Scandinavia is all found in Iceland. The language is crazy. You won't understand anything. The signs are all like FQZ.
I wonder if you feel claustrophobic, living on a small island like that. That's the question.
7.5, they might as well be in Arabic or in Mandarin because I really have a hard time grasping it. But everybody speaks English, so there's no communication barrier. You will absolutely love your time in Iceland. If you want to try bizarre food, you can try fermented shark. I thought it was the worst thing I've ever tried in my life, and I tried almost everything. The smell, I can taste it on my lips right now. It's disgusting. But other than that, the cuisine is lovely. Everything is delicate and safe and clean and fancy. It's a very fancy country. It's very eco-friendly to travel there. It's like a minimalistic lifestyle. You just jump in a car, go around.
I feel like if I was in Iceland, I would be missing some foods that I don't think I can get in Iceland.
I think because it is a small island, it's a little different than living on the continent. You can drive to another country, so it's a little different.
You want to bring all these things with you. You just want to go enjoy nature.
I think if you want to go live on Iceland, you really have to embrace that, their culture, their foods, everything. Like you have to embrace that. You cannot bring your own culture or your own mentality and go live. You shouldn't do that to go to any country. But you really can't do that going to live on a small island like that.
For sure.
You always to check out, which are these tall little mountain things that come straight out of the water, and you can only find them in a few countries in the world. And of course, the Northern Lights is one of the best places on earth to see the Northern Lights. I've sadly failed every time. If you've seen the Northern Lights, let me know in the comments down below where, because I'm dying to see them. Number 5, Ukraine. Yes, that's right.
Wow.
I'm in Ukraine right now. I'm in the beautiful city of Lviv. I've actually been here for the last week.
Interesting.
How recent is this video?
Today?
Today?
Today or yesterday, yeah. Wow.
Wow.
So he put a country that is at active war on the list as number 5. Okay.
Traveling around the country, documenting my experiences. I was actually here 9 years ago.
How cool is that building?
This is my second time in Ukraine. Very different these days with the war, which I'll get into in a little bit. But all I gotta say is this country is so charming and beautiful and different than the rest of Europe. First of all, it's massive. It's actually the largest country in Europe. It's like 1,500 kilometers or something from west to east. The people are amazing, they're
like
beautiful.
that, look like an island.
No.
Things are charming here. Like where I am in the west, it feels like Prague. The city's super unique and beautiful. Cobblestone streets, you have the buildings with the blocks like this. There's little artsy things on every corner. It's just like a freaking dream here. Of course, you have the capital city of Kyiv, which has the most majestic temples and churches and gardens.
Behind me is St. Sophia's Cathedral. It's the oldest cathedral in Eastern Europe. Such a special moment and surreal to actually be back here. Absolutely incredible.
It's like a freaking hidden gem there. It's more beautiful than almost any other city I've been to in Eastern Europe. It's also really, really affordable in Ukraine. Not even because of the war. It was actually really cheap when I was here.
But I wonder, since he went to every country, what does he do now with his life? Like, what is that
I mean, that summarize videos like this. I ranked every country in Europe. I ranked every country in Asia. I ranked every country in Africa. I ranked every island in the world. You know, stuff like that. I mean, that's a feat to accomplish. He has a lot of knowledge he can share about. You know, well, it's all personal opinion, of course, and you know, as footage that the amount of footage that he amassed too.
Here 9 years ago, so things are extremely affordable if you want to go out to get food, if you want to go out to the bar. And speaking of bars, there's a lot of nightlife here, and I want to say, even during the war, it's been amazing to meet people and see how resilient they are. They've all had friends and family that have lost limbs or lost their lives, but people are really trying to move on and really just trying to get past these dark days. And it's been really humbling and emotional to travel to Ukraine during these days. And I will have a video coming out soon on my YouTube channel, which is going to share real stories as I experience them in real time here in Ukraine. Because it's so big, there's so many different areas to explore. You have the Carpathian Mountains, which is actually the same mountain range that goes through Transylvania and Romania, and it's also the mountains that originally split Europe and Asia. So there's a lot of culture there, there's a lot of beautiful villages, there's a lot of cool castles, which actually we just went to one earlier today. We're here in autumn, so you can see the trees that just started to change colors. Pretty awesome. It's a beautiful little village here. You have people selling homemade stuff that they cook literally in their backyard. And it's a very, very nice life out here. The point is, all around Ukraine is beautiful nature. You have hikes, you have outdoor sports, even beaches on the Black Sea. I've never been to Odessa, but I've heard amazing things about it. You have Chernobyl, which is a place I've always wanted to go. Maybe I'll make it there someday. And yeah, Ukraine, it's a very, very special country. I've actually raved about it since I came 9 years ago. And it's really a pleasure to be here again. And I wish and hope the best for the future of this country. And I really, really hope that the war will stop, because war is just absolutely terrible for anyone. Number 6 is Portugal. Let's sit down and enjoy this one, because Portugal is that special. So of course you have Lisbon, the capital city. I've been there maybe 6-7 times. I love the look of these Portuguese churches. It's so beautiful. I recently went to Porto. I took my team on a road trip through northern Spain and down the northern coast of Portugal, and I really love Porto. It's like a mini version of Lisbon. It's quaint, a lot of beautiful cafes and churches. It's just like a hip, cool vibe. I actually like Porto, maybe even more than Lisbon. But the best part about Portugal is the Algarve, which is a region in the southern coast. Took my dad on a golf trip down there. Nice shot! Eagle! We had an absolute blast. Talk about some of the best seafood I've ever had. Great sorts of wines, sangria. Oh. Really, really friendly and warm people.
You're one of my favorite.
Dude, it's just my guys. In my opinion, they're similar to the Spaniards in that they're just very loving, and you know, they give you kisses on the cheek when you see them, and they're just cool people to be around. Like, you want to be around Portuguese people.
Be happy, be happy.
The country's pretty small, but they've obviously had a lot of influence on the world. Through colonization, Brazil, Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, Angola, a lot of countries around the world speak Portuguese. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's not the point. The point is, Portugal's awesome. They have great fruits. In fact, here's a random fact. In Iran, the word for orange is Portugal, because the Portuguese were able to bring fresh oranges by boat to Iran way back in the day. I think that's a really cool little fun fact. If you have a sweet tooth, you have to try pastel de nata, which is a famous pastry that's made in Lisbon. The famous shop where the original one comes from. There's always a long line out the door, so you can probably try it. So if you want to wait, you can wait for it, or you can try it somewhere else. It's also really affordable in Portugal. That's why a lot of young entrepreneurs and tech and crypto people are moving to Portugal, because of the lifestyle, and it's very cheap. Yes, it uses the euro, but it's way more affordable than almost any other country in Western Europe.
Yeah, but that's why, you know, the Portuguese are struggling right now, because all these expats are going to Portugal and affecting, you know, them, their cost of living. So that's not exactly a good thing for them.
And I will always love Portugal, and I can't wait to go back. Number 7 is Romania, just a nearby country to Ukraine.
Wow. His list is interesting.
Yeah, and his explanations are like.
His list is so interesting. Romania. Like, I have a friend, professional basketball player. She said the worst country she ever played in was Romania. It was dark, boring, nothing to do. So for him to put it at number 7.
And he loves the nightlife too.
Yeah. Wow.
As I just mentioned, the Carpathian Mountains actually go down into Romania, into a beautiful region called Transylvania, where you can find Dracula's castle.
I am Dracula.
A bunch of other.
Also, I guess something to consider, his list is through a tourist perspective, not for someone who lived there, you know? I think that's important, because there's one thing, you know, coming to visit for a week or two, and another is living there.
They're really historical monuments. There's a town called Brașov, which is my favorite in Romania. It's tucked away in the mountains, and there's another really, really beautiful village called Sinaia, which you have to visit. Of course, Bucharest is the bustling capital city, and there's a lot of really cool development there. It's really beautiful. There's hardly any tourists. Also very affordable. There's a lot of IT and tech out there. A lot of people are super smart coders, and so there's a lot of coffee shops, a lot of really, really fast Wi-Fi, which is amazing. And in general, Romania has a lot of rich folklore and medieval castles, dark stories. A lot of people who are interested in dark tourism like to go there for its haunted vibes and medieval structures on every corner. I got lost in the villages there, and I found a lot of really unique traditions. There was a beer drinking festival that I went to. There was a cheese making exhibition. People dressed up in Romanian outfits, singing songs. It's very festive. I just really love Eastern Europe. I think that'll be one of the main themes.
I see that. I see, you know, which are we on? 7? I think? So 4 out of 7 is Eastern Europe.
This video, I just feel very alive there, and I feel very uplifted to see how people are living their lives out here in Eastern Europe. Food, I would say, is decent. It's not really the best food I've ever had in Eastern Europe. Although Ukraine and Romania, if you mix them together, between borscht soup and between dumplings and between a lot of the cottage cheeses and jams that you can find, honey, raspberries, grapes, it's pretty good in that regard. But there's not really like internationally known dishes that you have to try from one of these two countries. Next on my list in Romania is a western town called Timișoara, which is just like a 2-hour drive from Belgrade. I want to check that place out, and yeah, I don't know, guys. If you come in the autumn season, which is where it is now, you can see the trees changing colors and all the tourists are gone from these places. And in general, they're just not touristy at all, and they're super enjoyable. I could not rave more about Romania, Ukraine, and all these countries in this part of Europe. Hey guys, just want to take a quick second and thank Sailly for sponsoring over 181 and they're from one trip. Now it's outside trips over 8 west for right now. We're going to move out west to one of the most beautiful countries in Europe, a small country, a country that has a massive impact on the world. Did you know that New York was at one point, or almost called New Amsterdam, because of Dutch colonizers? Indonesia, Madagascar, these countries have a lot of Dutch words and Dutch influence, which you would never believe. The reason Madagascar is because a lot of the people that live there are actually ethnically from Indonesia, which have traces back to the Netherlands. I love the open-mindedness of Dutch people. They're tall, they're really accepting to the world. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, wherever you come from. Suriname, that's actually a Dutch-speaking country in South America. People are really cool. They're genuine. They like to go out and have fun. They love parties. A lot of my favorite DJs in the world.
Yeah, parties. It seems like for him, partying is very important, yeah.
Come from the Netherlands or Holland. I want to make something straight, guys. Holland is just part of the Netherlands. It's like there's North Holland and South Holland. Obviously, Amsterdam and Rotterdam, the two biggest cities, are in the region of Holland, but the country of Netherlands is much bigger than Holland. You have amazing cities like Kinderdijk, which is where the windmills are, it's a UNESCO site. You have beautiful canals of Utrecht, which is actually the most bike-friendly place in the world. And it's my favorite city in the Netherlands because it's like Amsterdam, but way smaller. It's a university town, so there's a lot of students, and it's just really amazing with no tourists, and it's way cheaper as well. In the south and east, you have Breda and Eindhoven, which I've been many, many times. They're just chill spots. I mean, all these towns in the Netherlands have beautiful canals running through them, just charming people. I just can't tell you how enjoyable it is to walk around the Netherlands. Like, I'm just smiling the whole time for no reason. Like, any day that you're walking around Amsterdam is just a great day. The layout of the city is awesome. Whenever I tell people I love the Netherlands, they're like, oh, you like smoking weed? Actually, I don't like smoking weed. And I like the Netherlands for every reason apart from smoking weed. Who cares if there's weed shops? It's just the open-mindedness of the people. There's a great beer selection. The food is actually pretty good.
That looks amazing. Wow.
They have great sandwiches, they have great hot dogs, wieners.
Really tasty.
There's actually a fast food place called Fubo, F-E-B-O, and you basically put a euro into this like microwave box looking.
Yes, we've seen this. We've seen this. This is pretty cool. I would love to try what it tastes like. Because it doesn't look like it's the freshest of the foods, but I would be interested to try it.
Compartments or thing, it's like you're getting a soda from a vending machine, but you turn an oven and like a burger comes out. So I thought that's pretty fun. And they also have a food called bitterballen, which is like this fried ball of, I don't even know what's in it, but it's delicious. Great cheeses in the Netherlands. Everyone speaks perfect English. And the biking culture, man. The cities are like built for biking, and where I currently live in Prague, it's like a terrible city for biking because
also he lives in Prague, I guess. Okay. I mean, makes sense if that's his number one country in Europe. So.
Oh, so that's why he's able to visit so easily all these countries, because I thought he was going in and out from the States to there.
In Amsterdam, literally every city, every single part of the Netherlands is extremely bike friendly. So if you go there, get on a bike and explore. You'll love it.
I was going to turn 26 and lose my mom's coverage, so I need to find my own plan.
Country number 9, Austria. I'm in beautiful Salzburg, and as you can see, it is an absolute gem of the day. Look at this. Perfect weather. Absolutely stunning out here. What's significant about Austria for me is that I'm Austrian. My grandfather was born here, so I have a really cool connection to this country. It's so beautiful, and it's really underrated and overlooked by its neighbors, Germany, Italy, and Switzerland, because there's so much here. You have the Alps, you have amazing food, hello schnitzel. It's the birthplace of classical music, Beethoven, Mozart, and it's very charming.
Austria is very beautiful. Vienna.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah, Vienna was very beautiful when I visited.
And believe it or not, people here actually speak German. There's no such thing as Austrian language. The language is called German.
Ich hoffe, dass euch gefallen und ihr kommt uns in Wien besuchen. Bis bald.
But it's really cool, it's really beautiful, and as you can see, like, you can't really go wrong with coming to Austria. It's one of those places that you visit and you realize, okay, this place is special, I'm gonna come back and back again. Some of my favorite spots in Austria are Innsbruck, which is the gateway to the Austrian Alps. Really good skiing up there, beautiful town high up in the mountains. Of course, we have the big bustling city of Vienna with tons of palaces, great food.
Welcome to Vienna. We are at the Stephansplatz. Right there is the Stephansdom, the main
Is it
church
the
of
picture
Austria.
then, huh?
Yeah, I believe I've been there. Yeah.
The city is thriving.
There's another small town called Linz, which is stunning, and actually there's a place on the border of Liechtenstein called Selkirk. I went there in 2015, it was really special. And of course, you can't beat Salzburg. Austria wins. That leads me into country number 10, Italy.
Buongiorno.
Italy, there's so much to say about Italy. A lot of people would tell me to put this as number 1. And Italy's so good, it's hard to keep out of the top 10.
We're here in the Plaza de Campo, the biggest square here in town. It's just so charming, such an amazing place.
Oh, wow!
Venice is probably my least favorite place in Italy. It's a human zoo. There's too much going on there, too many people walking around. You know, my first time going to Italy, I went to Florence and Rome, so those two cities really have a special place in my heart. I've been back.
The thing is, for his list, he didn't place any emphasis on weather, which, you know, if he's looking from a traveler's perspective and not from, like, where to live, weather doesn't matter. You can always go in the summer, so I get it. But, you know, looking from, like, where to live, I think Italy, you know, Greece, Spain, Portugal also, big benefit is the weather, you know.
Many times since then.
At least
You know,
for
they
me
say that
personally.
Rome is a walking museum, and it really is. You just walk around and you see things like this. I really enjoyed northern Italy, so Lake Como, the whole area up there is so stunning. It's just an hour and a half drive from Milan, and it's a totally different world. It's clean here, fresh air, you have cobblestone streets, really nice scenery. Surprisingly, the lake is a lot clearer than I thought. See these ducks? You can see the ground. I also really like the island of Sicily, which is technically part of Italy.
Part of the beauty of traveling to a place like Sicily is getting lost.
It's way more rugged and run down. You got Palermo, beautiful church / Duomo here. Unbelievable. It's really kind of where like the mafia was started and invented, so you kind of have those vibes out there.
Those who want respect, give respect.
Sicilian food is great.
I'm going to go as far as saying this is one of the best seafood snacks in Europe. Sicilian rice ball.
Yeah. And you have these ancient Roman ruins in Sicily that are unmissable.
Whoa, check this out. I was not expecting to see this in Sicily.
Soon I want to road trip the boot of Italy. There's a lot to see down there. Milan is the fashion capital of the world. There's so much going on in this country, and it's so big, and you always got to keep going back and visit. And I feel like this was obvious enough that I didn't have to tell you this. Italian food is fantastic. And it goes way beyond pizza, pasta, and wine. Country number 11 is...
Alright, that's
Okay.
really stuff.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.